Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. How are you today? Hope you are ready for some interesting topics, what I consider the most important subjects, or they should be, which most people don't even look at them or think about them, or believe in them or accept them, and whatever you want to use to describe what most people think about life. All right. Now, all right, I consider it the top 10. I mean, there's many more, but I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get into in the time that I'm going to do this show. I'm going to be talking about the problems pertaining to teachings, programming, accepting your feelings, and the lies around you. Yeah, you're lied about everything. Just about everything is a lie. So we're going to get into one topic at a time. If you have questions, please go into the chat room, put it in there. Sorry, I got to open up my chat room. All right. So let's start somewhere. Where are people's attention? Well, with the problem with money and war and everything else and viruses, it's pretty limited. But there's two ways you could describe it. I describe them as the passions of our mind. Okay, and this is what most people, maybe all of them, have on their subconscious mind or their physical mind all the time. Sex, drugs and drinking, smoking, cheap thrills, and I would say sports and games. Now, if you don't like those kind of words, we could use lust, greed, anger, vanity, and the worst of all, attachment. An attachment meaning being attached to everything or even one thing. And that's a serious problem in this lifetime. And I'm going to get into why, because what it does to soul, what it does to your future lifetime or lifetimes. Now, I don't know how many people truly believe in a real God. Most people believe in a programmed idea of a God, which is a loving, compassionate being, all right, which they were told what it was and they accepted it. How many people prove to themselves what God is, what it really is, and what it really cares about or thinks about? Very few people. And I'm dealing with people, Walsh, people like that, conversation with God, things like that, who claim they talk to God, say the same thing everybody else is saying. Oh, love is the answer, and we just have to live in the moment, like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, all these people. Who are they? What are they? What are they here for? To program people to believe in what? Nothing except being a good spiritual person, and they don't even know what the word spiritual means. All right. Now, I just want to do something in this chat room. Hold on. All right. So, believing in God. How many people do you know that actually believe in God versus not? Do you know atheists? Do you know people that believe in the universal God, universal consciousness, Christ consciousness, a ridiculous word for people that do not know Christ? How can you be part of a consciousness of something that you don't know what it is? You don't know nothing about the universe. The government, the scientists have no clue. They tell you things and you believe them. The black hole, the Big Bang. Oh, they show you a big, giant explosion, the biggest explosion ever. And they said it's a star going into a black hole. If you went inside a black hole, you would just disappear. You wouldn't be exploding. What a ridiculous idea. To show you where and how advanced scientists think they are. They want to make you believe the most bull ideas that are out there. Okay, you're a ball, and here's a black hole. Now that ball is going to go into the black hole, but it explodes. If it explodes, there's nothing there. Explode something. Is there something there that's going to go into something else? That whole idea is ridiculous. CERN is trying to create that here. They said they did, which is a lie. But they have suits and everything. They plan on creating a black hole and jumping into it. and thinking you're going to go inside it to the other side to where it goes. All right. I'm not going to get into that because I don't deal with that. I mean, I'm not playing with a black hole or anything like that. But by the same token, is I deal with the spiritual ideas and truth, which most of them have no clue about, like death, what happens to soul, what soul does, what soul is, and they have no clue on that. So there's a lot of things, people, you accept, and I'm really sorry about that. Uh, it's not as good. Nothing's as good as people making it sound. All those speakers out there. We'll get into that. Now, let's start with simpler things. God's probably the most complex, but let's start with something real simple that people accept. Healers. What is a healer? Person that claims to heal people. Why? Person goes up to him, he waves his magic hand over their head and says you're healed, and they, oh, I'm better. Do you know anything about real healing, what it means, what it entails, and what it has to do with? Healing what? A sickness? Now, the human body is perfect when it was created. Mankind's destroying it at every level. So programming itself is what's destroying it. Now, accepting things that come along, creating it, this whole virus thing, accepting it, creating it, going along with it. How many people are getting sick? How many people are dying? How many people don't get sick? And all those aspects of it. But you go to a healer and he's going to heal you. How? Because your mind accepts an idea. Now, the idea that it comes from somebody else is what man accepts. A healer could only base it on what you tell yourself. You heal yourself. Nobody on this planet can heal another person. I can go into the details and prove that in many different ways, but I'm not going to now. But really, you think somebody super powerful being could heal you just because you feel it? You know, even in the religions, when you go to an evangelist and they bat you on the head and you're healed, they get up and they walk away. You know, adrenaline rushes through a person's body. No longer do they feel anything. They could walk out of there, being in a wheelchair, whatever. But imagine what happens a week, a day, a year later when it stops. Nobody knows much about adrenaline, but I'm not going to get into that either. But when it goes into the body, you're Superman, a superwoman. So when you get healed, oh, I'm healed, and I get up and walk away. And everybody believes that person's a healer. You created the adrenaline in your body, not that person. Even Jesus didn't claim his abilities. And he told them, it's your own faith that heals you, not mine. So when people say that, they're going way above Jesus, they're going way above the truth into a programmed idea which makes healers rich. And if they're not rich, they're not doing a good job brainwashing people. All right? Now, sickness has to do with food and everything else to your body. Sure, you can. But you know, Jesus said it's not what you put in your body, it's what comes out of it. Everybody has a different level of healing themselves due to the problems that the government fed in our poisons and our foods and our vitamins and medicines and all that. But here's the thing, people. What are you healing? A sickness. I'm going to get into a sickness because it's really important. Why, if you believe in a God, a loving God, why do you think he created sickness? And it did. It created sickness for a reason. Not billions of sicknesses, a few. Mankind's creating multiple ones for another reason. But why would it create sickness? Well, it's a long story, but I'm not going to go into it that much today. But it's basically understanding God, understanding where you are, meaning hell, planet Earth, and how good or bad it is, how good or bad it really is, what it means to live here. Do you go to hell? The Pope comes out and says hell doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist because you're in it. And you don't want to call it that. But you know, hell, Earth, is the only place soul, which is what you truly are inside that body you're walking around in, can see it. Feel it. Go through it. Create it. You go out and kill somebody. You can go out, watch people get killed. You can do all those horrible things. So you think that would be heaven in any way, any good way? So where are you living? You're living in hell. It was never about going to hell. It was always about getting out. Jesus didn't say you're going to go to hell. He said get out. Leave this realm. And that's what he was teaching. It wasn't, oh, love everybody, send unconditional love around the planet. Buddha didn't believe in God. His teachings are so limited to just the astral plane. When you travel beyond it, when you meet the real deities, not the idea of a deity, when you meet the little gods and see the other realms, you wouldn't really want to stay here for a super long time. Knowing there is a God is important, but knowing what God is even more important. So when you go to a healer, think about it. Think about who and what powers he has that he's going to heal you with. Someday I'll just do a show on that because, there was a group of people that went around the world proving healers are fake. Prove it. If you can heal one person, you can heal everybody. It's like saying if you can levitate a car, you can levitate a mountain. You can levitate anything. But you can't. Not in this reality, not in this time frame. And if anybody had any psychic ability at 100%, they can change the world within a day, a week, completely. But that's not happening because there is nobody in that place. Nobody is at any level close to God. Oh, people say they do. Talking to God means you're really close to God. You can talk to God all you want. Does God really talk back to you, or is your subconscious mind telling you what you think it wants to say to you? And that's all it is. God doesn't have to come into hell to talk to people that are ignorant, stupid, dumb, evil, even though they claim they're beautiful, loving beings. Really? How can you be a loving person and be a millionaire? You can't. No rich person can be a spiritual person because of that. Jesus said it many times, whether you want to believe that or not. Keep your money. When you die and you're dying and crossing over to wherever you think you're going to go, and all that money's sitting there, who are you going to give it to? Your children or donate it? Wow, why? When you die, imagine what you could do with money while you're alive and see what you can do with it and watch it. Instead of leaving billions of dollars in the bank when you die, millions of dollars in the bank and you die? Why? You don't think that's ignorant? It sure is. I'm not saying it because I'm not rich. I don't want to be rich. Money is the same as power, which corrupts the human thinking. Always did. Always will. In this lower realm, in this hell realm. But then again, if you knew a God or believe in a God, understand God, you would realize why you're here. Not to save the planet. You can't do that. If God wanted the planet to be saved in the beginning, it wouldn't have created hell. You have to look at the facts, people. We were warring creatures for 40,000, 50,000 years. Why? Because we were programmed, and we accepted the program. All right. Now, what happens to a person when they get old or sick or get smashed by a car? They die. What's death about? Do you have a clue? Do you understand what death is? Why not? You should. You're going to die. The maximum time you're going to have here as of right now is 125 years. Wow, we got Bezos, Gates, Musk all trying to live forever, create medicines to keep us here. Imagine staying in hell forever, living in this hell realm, looking at what we do. We don't do anything good. We don't create anything spiritual. We never did. We brag how spiritual we are, and we're not. I don't use the word spiritual. I don't say I'm spiritual. As soon as I attain full spirituality, I will not be here, which is going to be soon. But again, if you believe you're in this beautiful place and you want to stay here, why? Now, what Gates is doing, and what Musk is doing, and what they're going to do to your food and everything else, do you have a planet? China and Japan is cloning humans and animals together. Do you think you're going to be in a beautiful world? And then the worst part of it all is AI, artificial intelligence, taking over the planet. And it's a real entity. It's not a machine computer chip. No, it's an entity that uses that. I'm not going to get into that, but that's out there. If you look hard enough, you can find the truth about that too. I can't give you the truth. You have to find it yourself and then find out if it's true to you or not. But if you're programmed, you're not going to accept any truth because you already think you have it. People that don't think there's a God, well, that's their loss. Thinking the universe is God or the God consciousness, that's their problem. Thinking the universe is going to help them. All right? It's not. What can the universe teach you? Meteorites, comets, asteroids, black holes, big bangs, all that. Any of it real or true or beneficial to you? We could go into pyramids, and another perverted, twisted thing, because all you see on these ancient aliens, all that, is the pyramid stuff. If any of it was really important, don't you think there'd be people alive inside them? Instead of finding more skeletons. Now, I just watched a special on how they believe they can embalm a person to reincarnate. Everything they do is a complete lie, people. I listened to this scientist going on, well, they didn't take his brain out. They didn't cut the skull. Are you that ignorant to think whatever you do with a body like that is going to make you reincarnate back into it? I mean, science is talking about ignorant things that are ridiculous compared to what they're trying to explain about reincarnation. You're not coming back to this body. You'll have a body, yes, but not this one. Why would you? 20 years old and you die. You want to come back to that body? Let's immortalize it? What they do, they take the brain out, they break the jaw, wrap them up and all that. Some, they take all the body parts out. This one, they're saying, oh, the body parts were inside it. It doesn't matter. That's not going to just start beating and come back to life. People accept garbage as truth. I don't know how, why, where they get their acceptance from, whether they were beat, which is kind of like part of my life, but trying to force to believe this junk. Many people just accept it. Oh, he sounds good. His stuff sounds real. Her stuff, she's a real healer. Why? You get one person to believe in you, and they go, wow, they're a healer. And two other people hear it. Wow, let's try it. And they feel that they got healed. It becomes a massive energy that affects other people. I'm not saying they all get healed. They don't. You can't heal karma, people. No matter what any spiritual, religious person says, you can't heal karma. You pay it off. No matter what you heard, reincarnation is the word, and that's why it's there. Incarnation is coming back to this planet again in another body. And you're coming back without any awareness of all the things you did before. Soul doesn't die, and that's true. But it doesn't retain its awareness every time it comes back to this world. Because it gets put in a body with a computer chip that tries to control the body. So all your life, you're going to have your mind fighting soul. And ego is part of the mind, 90%. So whatever you think and say and believe in is coming from your ego, not from soul. It's hard to listen to soul. There's simple techniques to learn how to do it, which I give all the time. But you should learn how to tell the difference between mind and soul. It would save your life in any given moment, just so you know. Now, if you know there's God, you know there's a reason for everything. Reason why people get hurt, raped, abused, or reincarnate. There's a reason for it. And it's all about soul, S-O-U-L, attaining awareness. And you don't get to leave hell until you attain that. The astral plane's merging with this realm because of things we did. Not God, not deities, angels, what we did. And it was called the Philadelphia Experiment. And then it became the Montauk Project. And we opened up a vortex, which allowed the merging of these dimensions. If you don't notice or know, go on TV, or watch TV. It's not going to kill you. But watch these ghost shows and things. They're filming creatures, entities. They're talking to them. I know I was doing Ghostbusting when I was 16 years old. Things that are happening are real, and it's intensifying to people getting pushed, knocked over, houses going on fire while they watch it. There's many things going on now that all these entities and stuff never had power to do or even come into this realm. But we are allowing it. The government can't close the vortex they opened. They have been trying for 50 years and cannot, and they probably won't. Because we're so close to the astral plane merging together right now. There's different levels on the astral plane as here, but they're merging together to the lowest level of the astral plane. And that's where all souls go before they reincarnate. If they get to leave, some stay here, some just stay ghosts, and they never get to go to the astral plane. So there's a lot of stuff going on, people, whether you want to believe it or not. You have a choice. You always have a choice. But when we talk about death, it could be a beautiful thing, or it could be a horrible thing. Now, something you can know if you're with somebody dying, watch how they leave their body. I mean, some people start shaking, screaming, crying, and all that. But if somebody smiles and closes their eyes, they're probably an aware being, and they know where they're going. It's a good thing for them. It's not a good thing for you because you're losing somebody. But when they're transforming into another plane of existence, and they become aware of a new body that they're in, it's their astral body. And on the astral plane, it might sound good, it might sound bad. It's both. The same as here, but we're mostly bad. We have nothing good going on. But on the astral plane, you can choose your age of what you want to be traveling and moving around in that realm. And the average age, which I found to be true, is 26 to 36 years old. Some people want to be young, some people want to be old, but I don't know why. I mean, the native people talk about the green pastures where all the elders go. Why would I want to sit on another place with a bunch of elderly people that have no awareness? The astral plane doesn't mean you attain any awareness. You attain very little awareness. That's why you're still sitting in the astral plane. Once you leave the astral plane and go beyond it, it just gets better by 1,000-fold each time. But are you ready? Are you ready to let go of this program? All right. I'm going to get into a couple things. Let me get back to this. The words attachment. All right. Like the 5 passions of the mind. I said drugs, smoking, cheap thrills, sports, games, lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. Attachment. Being attached to people. Even the earth, the water, the flowers, the trees. I want to come back and to be with trees? To swim in the ocean? What do you want to come back here for? To play with dolphins? I mean, that's cool, but you want to come back to do that? Your attachment keeps your soul locked in until you rise above it. All right, above that level, can you move forward? All right, so now, when we talk about psychics, all right, healers are considered psychics in some levels, but psychics that claim they have super abilities to do things, their ability is very, very minute. No psychic out there can predict 1 minute in the future. Not one. So, and if that was true, that 1 minute can change reality. And nobody has that ability right now. They wish they do. They think they do. Caroline Corey claims she could levitate a piece of paper. Well, let's see her. I mean, there's a lot of magicians that levitate little things, and people prove that they're wrong. The Amazing Randy proved that Uri Geller was not really doing what he said he did, and things like that. But there's always the proof. Striving to prove that you're somebody better than who you really are. Or you have an ability better than who and what you really are. We have a lot of abilities. We all do. Not super psychic abilities to levitate a car and things like that, but to be aware of what's going to happen before we step into it. You're going down a road, you know that there's a car going to come out, or things like that. Soul can feel around the body before and after a second. So it means it's a little before us and a little after us of what's happening in this body. So when soul tells you not to do something and you don't listen, that's a way you can die or hurt people or hurt yourself. Well, they could do this. You know, we have abilities. Uh, the mind is powerful here in this realm only. It doesn't go to the astral plane. Like I said, you have a different reality there. And when you come back here, you're back into a programmed mind computer that has to learn what it's going to be programmed with. I hope this makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Ask me questions, Skype me, talk to me personally, get into more details of anything that you don't know or don't feel or don't understand. But psychics aren't helping mankind. Even Nostradamus, claiming like one of the, not he didn't claim it, but people claim he was one of the top psychics on the planet, predicted things. If you predict something and it happens, does that mean anything good? Anything important? You say, well, you're going to get on a plane, it's going to blow up, and it does. Was that beneficial to you? Did it help you? Of course not. 3 people I know, one good friend, 2 of my friends, both predicted 9/11. One predicted the event was going to happen on that day and everything, but my other friend predicted every detail about it, about what was going to happen with all the planes and stuff on the day that it would happen. But here's the problem. It still happened and nobody did a thing about it. So making prophecies is not a good thing. It builds your ego to other people. Wow, he prophesied him dying. Like Nostradamus said the king's going to use a javelin and get stabbed and die. And he did. But so what? He didn't stop him from riding a horse with the javelin and die, did he? So if you can't change the future, psychic abilities are useless. Levitation. How many people can... I watched so many specials. I was a magician for 25 years. And levitation's like one of the most important tricks to learn how to do. And it's not real. But you can make it real to anybody that sees it. Now, there was a special on TV. This guy traveled the world trying to find somebody that could truly levitate something. He ended up going to Tibet, meeting this lama in this room who said he could levitate. He was told he had to stay on the other side of the room. And this guy's sitting on the opposite side of the room, and he levitated about 3 inches off the floor. And that was it. So, when people claim these things, prove it. You want to be that? Prove it. If you're here to help mankind, prove it. We're not here to help each other, really. We want to believe we are. We cannot help ourselves. So how are we ready to help millions of other people or billions of other people? There's only a few people in history that did. Buddha created a religion. Wanted to create a religion. Jesus did not come here to create a religion, and a religion was created about him. He never claimed to be God, and he's now claimed to be. People say he is God. So, mankind takes anything, molds it into this object of what they want it to be. Now, I'm going to try to get into a lot of topics before I end the show today. So hold on to your hats. I'm going to go as fast as I can through these. Please, if you want to get into the topic, email me, text me, whatever you need to do. I'm just going to stick it up there again so that in case you decide that you might want to talk about something or get the truth. Oh, my truth, who cares? Well, that's your problem, not mine. I can only put it out there. I can't make you accept it. But you need to prove it to yourself. Whatever you believe, whatever religion you're in. I went really hard studying 14 religions. At first, I was even a high priest. So yeah, I studied magic. And I don't brag about this much, but I was learning about 28 of them. There's 32. Now, I mean, there's words on, you can pull up 128 psychic abilities, throwing bones on the ground, sneezing, all these things could be a psychic ability, but they're not. But there's 32. And the only one I really wanted, I couldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. And that was the word levitation. All right. The other ones I proved were real, and I could use them if I was really a bad person. You can't use psychic abilities in this reality now, and that's why we don't have them. In Atlantis, we had them, but we were spiritual people in that time frame, and we used them wisely. Killing didn't exist. Eating animals did not exist. All those things were different. I said, check those people. We can't let them live like that. We can't use them. So, yeah, they programmed us to kill. All right. And we did become massive killers since the beginning of time. That they were able, after Atlantis went down, sorry. All right. Now, man created medicine. Native people use real things. In other words, they always knew whatever they came down with, whatever sickness, whatever it was, whatever was around them would cure it. And that's true. If it was a stomach problem, a blood problem, whatever it was, they knew there was a plant that would heal it, and does. All right, that's native medicine. I'm not saying they were wrong about that. They were probably more advanced than anyone else. They created the cancer answer many, many years ago, and it's still out there if you find it online. The cancer answer. You have to make it. It takes 2 days to make all the ingredients and everything, but it'll cure cancer if you stay on it. But here's the thing, people. The truth's out there. Are you willing to accept it if you hear it? The bottom line, are you ready to move forward? Or you want to live in La La Land? All right, dreamland, whatever. Now, I've been involved on a spiritual quest all my life. I've been involved in the UFO world all my life. The UFO speakers out there, 90% of what they say are useless lies. The truth that's there is useless for us as well. Talking about what the government does with aliens, you think that helps you or me? Is it ever going to help you or me? Now, well, them not telling us about aliens in space, they don't want us to know what they did because it was evil. So what are they going to come out? Say, we did all these things, you don't care, I'm going to tell you the truth now? It would destroy the whole connection between government and people. And it started with Truman and Eisenhower. So how far back do you want to go? But when MJ-12 was created, it split the whole government system. The UFO world became a secret organization, secret ideas, facts, and truth. But why? Because there was nothing good happening with it. And then it pertains to war. Anything pertaining to war is a secret, and it shouldn't be talked about by us. What do we want to know about the weapons they're killing people with? Are we going to use them? If you join the army, when we went to Vietnam, people did. I didn't have to. My brother was. But when we get forced into something, that's when you got to make your choice. Do you go by what they force you to do or not? When they had the lottery, when I was 17, if your number was 1 to 50, you had to join the army. Many people ran away and ran up to Canada, and they stayed there for a while, and then they actually were allowed back. Because nobody should have the right to tell you that you have to kill somebody. There's an incredible movie out, and it's a true story about one man that refused to carry a gun in the army. He was getting beat. They all wanted him to get out of there. They said he's there. He's not going to be able to protect them and all this. He can't be watching their back. And what did he do? He saved like 125 people in the middle of a battlefield. Ran out there, grabbed the people, and pulled them back. He did so much for a person that was not carrying a gun. So, when you believe that we have to do it the way the government says it, it's not beneficial. You have your rights to do what you want in your house as long as you're not abusing things, meaning hurting children. But outside of that, you want to smoke in your house? Somebody has the right to tell you you can't? All those little things that are rights, what are our rights? We don't have any. You can believe what you want. Oh, freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of speech. On the internet, I lost my Skype. I had 3,500 followers. I lost the whole thing. I almost lost YouTube. I almost lost Facebook. You say one thing that they don't like, they can take your site away and then not let you have it back. All right. There's a lot. I was blocked from Skype twice before they totally blocked me and said, okay, it's over. But again, you don't have free speech. You have freedom to do anything you want. Okay, now you have to go back about laws. You know, when we heard the Ten Commandments, people say they're outdated. But when Moses was alive, he didn't like the Ten Commandments. So he created 613, meaning laws about drinking, smoking, sex, and wearing nude, being nude, wearing what kind of clothes, eating what kind of animals. All these things he put into law. But were they beneficial? Of course not. He couldn't live by them because he ended up having people killed at every level. So, you know, Bible doesn't tell the whole story. I mean, they tell you basically what happened, but people shy away from the truth. They don't want to like really look at the details. Moses walked these people around and around and around, and then he brought them to the promised land. Well, all the people he brought out of there died. The children went to the promised land, and they killed the people that were there. I'll tell that story over and over because people realize, oh, that was a spiritual place. It wasn't a spiritual place. It never will be. Land, earth is not spiritual. If you think it is, stay here. Watch how bad it's going to get. All right? In Atlantis, it was incredible. I'm aware of my lifetime then, and it was the only time planet Earth was at peace with its people, and they were spiritually aware, and it was taken away. Most of them were killed. Many races left. There were 9 races here at that time frame. Different colors. You think it was just white, yellow, black, and red? No, there was blue, green, the invisible race. I mean, there was all kinds of races here in Atlantis, but they were all working at a higher level than we are today. The really spiritual ones left. They said, why do we want to stay in hell? The same as why would God come into hell? To burn us up? It doesn't have to come down here to say, I don't like what you're doing. If you're not aware, obviously you're not going to listen. And you don't know what God wants you to really do. Oh, get a better job. Better means more money. Money doesn't mean anything spiritual. What are you living here for? To get a family, to get money, to be happy. Happy how? You're living in hell. What's there to be happy about? I never could be happy. People say, why are you always so depressed? Why aren't you smiling? I said, because every split second somewhere on the planet, a child's being sexually abused, sold into slavery, beat, and all those kind of things. And I said, I'm supposed to be happy where I live on this planet? People don't care. I mean, starving people. 90% of the planet's poor. Most of them are starving, homeless, and everything else. 90% of 8 billion people. 4% of multimillionaires, 6% of the hardworking middle class and poor people, paying for all the problems of mankind, which are the rich people. Does that sound like a system that's good? You believe it is. How? Why? Because you don't know God, you don't know truth, you don't know about soul, you don't know anything. And you claim you do. You're a spiritual being. Why? Because you met Deepak Chopra and he said, you got no karma? Really? Eckhart Tolle says, live in the now. You can't live in tomorrow or yesterday. You can think about it, but you're still in the present, always. Be the best you can. You are the best you can. You may not want to think it, but you always are the best you can be. You can change what you do, but you're not going to change who and what you really are. If you kill somebody, you're in trouble. Sorry, people. I mean, Ten Commandments talk about it. Revelations talks about killing as well. It's not like you go to a priest, a minister, a rabbi, anybody and say, forgive me. That doesn't happen. Karma, again, is another word that goes with payment, what soul creates here. It doesn't have to create karma, but it does. It likes it. And I know a word, Satan, the dark knight, the dragon within, all those words that pertain to the dark side of each of us is in power. And it's in power more now than it has ever been. Watch children killing each other. Watch adults killing children. I mean, we're sick, perverted, twisted, and we're moving better places. What place is that? People, are you ready to start thinking about reality for a better place to be? And it's not going to Mars. It's not going to Moon because it's not going to help if you go there. What do you think you're going to get when you get there? A beautiful ocean? Beautiful mountain? Beautiful lake? What do you think you're going to be going to the bathroom in? What do you think you're going to be eating? You should be thinking about reality, not dreams and hopes and wishful ideas. I'm not going to save mankind, no matter how many ships we send up. How many people do you think they could get to Mars in 25 years even? A couple million? Would taken out of 8 billion people? And you think you're going to take any middle class poor people and put them up there? Of course not. But then again, why would you want to be on another planet right now? Oh, and these people that put money into traveling around a planet, like going, this one multimillionaire just paid to go around the moon. Why? Children. We don't care about other people. We care about our ego and who we think we are. We're nobodies. We're a grain of sand on this planet. That's all we are. Oh, I'm going to save the planet. I'm going to save the human race. I'm going to save. Freaking Nasser Harriman claims he's going to change the vibration of the whole planet. Pull up these people. Read about who's out there. Right, you're dead right on that one. But, when we talk about it, do you think beyond what you hear? Go to UFO conference. You'll hear people like Stephen Greer. Oh, we can go out and meditate and we can talk to the aliens. What do you think they're going to tell you? Anything about God? Anything about soul? How we're going to make planet Earth better, build a better spaceship? All that they did for the human race, which means the governments, I should say, is weapons and transportation. Nothing spiritual. Nothing about food. Except, and I'll say this. Fred Bell, not Art Bell, died. He was on Jesse Ventura's show talking about the HARP system. And he was found dead in his hotel room 2 days later. But here's the thing. He worked on the HARP system for the government. He realized how dangerous it was. Jesse Ventura went into the White House talking to one of the people that was involved what the government was doing with the HARP system. And he said, why would you do that with the HARP system? I'm not going to get into the details. Find out. He goes, well, we didn't know what to use it for. But they could do anything with it, people. It's the most deadliest weapon on the planet right now. You think nuclear bombs, and we could hit any spot, any square inch on this planet with the HARP system. Why do you think there's chemtrails up there? Why do you think they're doing what they do? There's reasons for everything. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's not a reason behind it. Well, nobody knows that. Yeah, there's people that know everything about what they're dealing with and stuff. I mean, nobody knows everything about everything. I know a lot about nothing, and I know a lot about everything. All right? But here, people, we are living in hell. You can see it around you. Put the news on. Watch the news all day. You're going to feel like just going in the bathroom and shooting up or drinking, smoking, whatever, to take your attention off of this reality. And that's all man does, and women. And then the cheap thrill to pass the time is sex. So, yeah, that's where man is. Anything about God fit into that picture? No. Anything we see, hear, or do is about God? No. Cheap thrills takes over the rest of our intention. People, are you following me? I hope you are. If you get anything out of this, please send me a letter. Send me a link. Say you talked about nothing important. Well, tell me what you feel. Hopefully you're feeling something. It's to wake you up. I mean, you don't believe anything I say, but wake up where you are. Look at what's happening around you. We never had so many people killing. And people want guns. And they think they have the right to. Guns were created a long time ago. Why? Why were people allowed to carry guns? To kill native people. Oh, I don't want that truth. Oh, of course you don't. You don't want to know that white man got paid money to kill native people. They even got paid to kill children. You know anything about Wounded Knee? I could tell you every detail about it because I was there in another life. It was the most horrible thing. It was all mostly only a few men were there, and I was one of the men that was there. But when they attacked them, it was women and children, and they killed them all. That's Wounded Knee, people. That's the real story. Go up there. Go up to where it is. Stand on that ground, and you'll feel how sick mankind was at that time. But that's why they had guns. They got like basically $75 for a man, $45 for a woman, and $25 for a child. And how did they get that proof? Bringing their scalps with them. The native people didn't scalp people first, and that's what you hear on the TV shows. They never promoted native people, ever. And they still don't. And I don't want to get into that. It's sickening what they're doing to the native people today. So you say we're moving forward. We're more spiritual. Of what? The universe. Our universal energy is making us higher dimensional beings. And what's that mean? Bullshit is. Bullshit. Lie, a program lie that you accept. Greetings for coming in. Yes, I'm live right now. All right. People, I'm going to go into something that I feel is important. It's one of the top, like I said, 10 top things that are really important right now. And you might not agree with me at all, but here's the thing. We have so many people going to jail and so many people that are killers getting back out. All right? Let's start there. A prisoner goes to jail for murder. He gets fed 3 meals a day, clean clothes every day, gets to go out and do exercising, watches TV until his time's over. If he's a good boy, he gets out sooner than later. All right? How much do you think we pay for that? And the price differs from prison to prison. But on a higher scale, it's $150,000 per year per person. How much do they give homeless and poor people? $600 a month. And these are people that are just trying to live, not kill people and hurt people. Do you go along with that system? Other countries, they don't feed people in prison. I saw a 3-ring circus in I don't know what country, I'm sorry, I saw it a while ago. But the inner circle are the bad people that don't get fed anything. The only thing they get is anything the prisoners in the second ring throw down into that. Second ring, they'll cut fingers off and whatever to get cigarettes or whatever. The third ring are the people that are going to be let out. All right? It's horrible. But again, do we need to pay for the food that these people eat and they eat better than the poor people? And they just got put in jail for the murder of 2 people or raping 3 women, whatever the story is. They deserve everything. When people are in heat houses, I was in the ghettos working there for 10 years. In a hot house that's freaking, 100 degrees, and they have no food. I mean, sure, they get cheese delivered to them, but half of the people sell whatever they get to get money to buy drugs. It's a horrible system, people. Prisoners aren't a good person. Now, sure, there's innocent people. Now, let me describe this. An innocent person that goes to jail gets stuck with this hellhole. All right? But, we're living in 2022, right? Now, here's what we should do. It's my decision. If I was president, I'd make it like a 3-ring circus or 4-ring circus for a prisoner. Let's use all the technologies we have today. First off, we'll use a lie detector. And they're about 75% accurate. All right? One thing. Second thing, psychics. Have 9 psychics there. All work with that person and decide where he is. All right? Another 50%, 60% right or wrong. Third, truth serum. Another thing that's about 75, 80% truthful. So you got 3 more things to base the truth on. All right? And then you go to a jury, mixed people, a native people, a black person, a white person, and a Spanish person, tribal people, not just one tribe or one group of people. All right? Male and female, make it equal. And then you can come to a much closer decision of who and what this person really is. Did he kill a person? It'll come out. I'm promising you. Truth serum, there's 3 kinds of truth serum too. They can do 3 different levels of truth serum on a person. But that would, the free will that you have, they can't make you tell the truth. They can. Give you the water torture. You'll tell the truth pretty fast. Or that's unjust. No, let them go out and kill people. That's more just. Where do people get there? Oh, I'm a spiritual person, but I like criminals walking the street, abusing children and shooting people. That's beautiful. Really? Are you ready to move forward into a spiritual world? Do you want to stay in hell? If you stay here, you will stay in hell. Mankind's not moving forward in any way. You're going to be eating roaches and they're going to turn them into milk, and you're going to be drinking roach milk. Really? You're going to be eating cricket burgers really soon. Mr. Gates wants to eliminate cows. What do you believe? Who do you want to follow? Where do you put your attention? Staying here? Back to sickness. Sickness was created by God itself for a reason. And I didn't say the reason, did I? So that a person doesn't have to stay here forever. Imagine you don't get sick and you stay here. You'll be in hell. You'll never get to see God's worlds or realms, whatever word you like. And they're incredible, people. They're nothing like this hellhole. Nothing. Stealing, rape, murder, crime, evil, all that doesn't exist there. Oh, that's real. No, it's the real world of God, not the real world of hell. Not until you're ready to let go of this stuff can you move into that realm. And there's little gods, not but deities. There's 3 deities on the astral plane, and Lucifer is there, people. He's not Satan. Lucifer and Satan are not the same. So all the Lucifer worshippers are worshiping Satan. I don't get into it. I was I don't want to say a black priest, but I was a high priest. I dealt with that. I faced that energy many times. But it's not good, Satan. Lucifer's the highest angel that fell. Because they were all fighting. And they were in a higher realm and they couldn't stay there. But people don't care. Well, that's all what? Stories? No, flying horses and all that stuff. Are they real? Of course it was at a certain time frame. But when things are out of balance spiritually, it can't work. And they say, oh, we're going to get through this. No, we're not. When one person believes in one God and I believe in a different God, it's never going to end the battle. Why are religions always fighting? It's always a religious war, people. And it's whose God do you want to follow? Nobody wants to follow a real God where it says no killing. But no. Oh, no. Well, we can kill them. They're evil. When Moses came off the mountain, they're all evil. Kill them all. And they killed 3,000 people. So, judging people. You know why it was okay to kill native people? They were considered demons. Not humans. They were considered demons. That's why they always relate the devil to red and all that. Oh, they were the demons. So it was okay to kill them. In hypnosis, you can brainwash a person to do anything. Tell them that your wife is an evil creature from another planet, you'll kill her. And I'm serious about that. I work with hypnosis. I work with the top hypnotists in the Army. I worked with Crescent when I was little, and I became a hypnotist at 14. I went through that. I had my friends doing anything I wanted them to do, anytime. My brother didn't even believe me. But I dealt with the repercussions of what when I was with my friends, they said, oh, tell them to do this, tell them to do that. So, yeah, it's another evil thing. It could be used very evilly. The same as why they tell you, and I'll tell you, never get hypnotized, never go to a hypnotist alone. Go with your best friend, always. Don't go to a doctor and let them put you unconscious without somebody in the room and trust. All those things, sexual abuse and all those things happen at every level. In the churches, in the synagogues, all of it. So you think we're moving forward spiritually? Do you know what spiritual means? Send me an email. Tell me what you think it means, people. All right. I don't know how long I'm going to go. I got through the topics I wanted to deal with a little. All right. But again, I want you to open up a little in your mind. Where do you want to go? How much further do you want to understand things? All right, I'm going to bring up aliens. Aliens, good or bad? Well, it's like saying, are humans good or bad? Oh, we're both. No, we're not spiritual, so we're not good. Oh, we say we are. Most families abuse their children. Almost any family does. Even keeping them from being part of reality is actually affecting a child. Money corrupts everything. So aliens coming here, and they have been and always did, came and went, killed each other, and all those kind of things. But now the ones that are coming here have their mind made up what they're going to do here. There's 9 active races that are bad that are here, and the so-called good ones can't help us in any way. So yeah, that's the battle going on right now, people. You can believe it or not. I'm going to lose my voice. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. All right. Now, I dealt with aliens all my life. About it. I wasn't wanting to do it. I was forced into it at every level since I was little. The truth is, there are no good aliens. Never have been. Never did anything in 50,000 years beneficial for the human race. Never. So all of a sudden they're going to come down and be useful for us? Really? For what? Tesla worked with aliens. Even Einstein did. In his notes, he wrote it. Well, he said he worked with them in dream state, but Tesla worked with them in reality. All right, because I can go into that whole story. It's incredible. Most important UFO story, which nobody can talk about. I can. I usually don't go into detail because nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear what Tesla was really doing up in New Jersey with DuPont underground, where ships were coming in and out of the reservoir. They flooded the city. It's an incredible story. It's all real, people. But do you care? Do people want to know the real truth? No, they want to know the good aliens coming down and helping us. How are they going to help you? What do you think you need that an alien can give you? Think about it. Name one thing. Money? Fame? Fortune? What do you think they can give you? A house on Mars? What do you think you can get from an alien? An understanding of God? They can't give that to you. They cannot. I'll tell you something nobody else can. Nobody I know ever spoke or even talked about it. Aliens incarnate into a human body when they die. That's the only way they're going to get closer to God. And even at that, it's going to take them a long time. But they are reincarnating. And that's why there's so many people that say, I'm an alien. I'm a walking. I'm this and that. Well, they're aware of their past life. I was an alien before I was in Atlantis. So yeah, we move forward, but little by little. And as long as we accept those passions and all those things that I told you before, we're not going to get there. Or you're not going to get there. Are you ready to let go of the bull? Look for the truth. You're not going to get it from Joe Schmo, Mr. Spiritual Being, or Donald Walsh, and people like that. Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, the Dalai Lama, the Pope. Are they telling you anything other? Well, we've got to be good. We got to be forgiven. Really? When they're bombing countries, bombing children right now. Oh, let's be happy about it. Let's just send our prayers over there. To what? Is your prayer going to stop that bomb from hitting the city, which you just did yesterday? Be real, people. The only help you can do is actual help. If you got money, put children in homes and feed them, do things. Build a shelter for women. Do a lot of things you can do with money if you have it. It doesn't do anybody in this reality good in the bank, except the bank that's getting more money on it. Are you aware of things happening? These aliens that are coming here. I can go into stories. I do a show every Tuesday. Watch it. This woman's been abducted much of her life. And she's getting sicker and sicker. And I keep telling her they're keeping her alive for a reason. She's actually radioactive. I'm serious about that too. She has all the symptoms of the things that happen. Hair falling out, teeth falling out, fingernails falling off, passing out, falling down, turning black and blue from a tip of her toe all the way up to her thigh. I mean, all these things. Now, she just said this week that she's going to need a pacemaker. My partner has one, and she needs a breathing machine. So, aliens aren't good at any level. I mean, you'll hear something, oh, they helped me. I did a UFO conference with somebody that claimed he worked with the Nordics. And he goes, oh, they helped me. I said, how? He goes, oh, they pulled me out of a car accident. I said, well, what else did they do? They did many things, many, many things. I said, like what? He couldn't answer one other thing. When you give credit to things, Satan has a great thing to give you anything you want to keep you here. If you're happy here, why would you want to leave? It's not about taking us from here. It's about keeping us here. Like I said, this is hell. So it doesn't want you to leave. The old question is, no question is the wrong question to ask. If you have a question, always ask it. Because it's what you need to know. You don't need to know what everybody else thinks they need to know. It's all about you, people. Oh, that's self. No, it's not. Soul came here by itself. It leaves by itself. And when it leaves the lower realms, it's not dealing with anybody from down here ever again. Not even male or female anymore. So, you got to let go of things to move forward. But if you can't move forward. Aliens are abducting people. They keep people permanently. They eat people, really. And they also use our blood and semen and ovaries and all that to create their race. That's the Greys. Reptilians even have sex with humans. So, but they do eat us as well. So, we got a horrible thing if you think aliens are going to help us. Watch the movie V. I'll bring that up all the time. Great movie. It was a TV series. I think it was on for about 6 months. But it's how this race comes over the whole planet, all these ships, and they tell us they're going to help us and start changing and helping everybody and all this, bringing them on the ships. But they're creating a place for all their eggs. And they're feeding people chemicals to make them into food. And it's really, but you don't see it all through the movie until near the end. And you think any alien race is going to be any better than that? What do they need us for? What we know is what they taught us. Tesla had no abilities. He wasn't a super genius brain. He was given that information. Einstein was working with an alien race, but he was fed false information. They feed us what they want us to know. Tesla created time travel. Einstein said we can't go forwards and backwards in time. So think about what he was fed to pair what Tesla came out with. They had to work with different races. I don't know what race he worked with. I wish I did. But it's time, people, to be aware of who you are, where you are, why you're here, how long you want to stay here. Reincarnate 100 times more? Oh yeah, and it's like Groundhog Day. Watch the movie. It's like reality of reincarnation. Do it so many times, there's nothing you want to do anymore. You did that 100 times, or you did that 1,000 times, you did that 1,000,000 times. Do you want to come back and do it again? It's like going on a ride. The first 2 or 3 times, it's fun. Stay on it 100 times. What's it turn into? A nightmare. All right, the same with reincarnation. But the problem is you don't remember your past life. If you do, it can help you move forward in this lifetime. So I say there's 2 things you need to learn. How to get out of the body and learn about your past lives. And it's hard, but it takes work and it takes devotion. It takes a lot of different things. Do you have time before you die? Maybe not. But if you don't start, you're never going to start. And you're never going to finish leaving this reality. Again, psychic abilities are dangerous. They can't be used wisely. When somebody says, I'm going to make it rain here, is that a good thing? If people getting flooded out, people say, I don't want no rain, and it doesn't rain, and then all the crops starve. Native people used to stick a knife in the ground and do rain dance and sun dance and all that. But did it really help? The native people were wiped out, people. All their teachings didn't help them. They said they were working with star beings, which was the Greys. All right? And they're not beneficial in any way. Do you want the truth? Do you want to deal with all these super. Oh, this I got to bring up. All these top scientists coming out and they're willing to say every UFO is not real. It's a natural act of nature. It's a wind. It's the reflection. It's this, that, and the other thing. Really? They were never next to a ship. They were never next to an alien. They never saw a spirit walk across their room. Sure, it's all make believe to them. If they ever had a real experience, even stepping out of their body, they would realize something's much more incredible than where their stupid mental attention is. They can't teach it because there's very few people that actually experience it. More so now than ever. But most of those people are still afraid to come out because they get laughed at, ridiculed, and everything else. So why do they want to come out? They could lose their job. You can't be prejudiced, you lose your job. Telling them that you're working with aliens? I lost a job because I mentioned aliens. I was working with crazy people in a clinic in Long Island. And I showed them pictures of UFOs. And they said, well, they brought me into the board. There was like 12 people there. We can't have somebody. I said, well, soul is important. No, then they said, these are people without a soul. That's what they considered the people they worked with. Oh, no, these people don't have a soul. They're just, no, they're souls. Their mind's programmed, but there's a soul inside their body. Oh, no, condemning something like that is so pathetic. But, we got to move forward. And time's running out. And if you think we got to wait for an alien to come down and say, well, I'm going to give you the answers to life. What? Death? Because that's all the next answer is you're going to die. So, people, I've been on a spiritual quest all my life. And I don't know what's going on with the camera now. I'm going to eliminate that screen maybe if I can. Hold on. No, it's too late. It shows went on. I don't know what strobe light's going on. I hope you don't have music. No, you shouldn't have music. So, getting back to this, I only have a couple things I just want to mention. All right. Wars. Why wars? Well, guess what? It's good for the economy. Yes, it creates jobs and money movement. Guess who else it's good for? Aliens. You don't want to know this. They don't want to talk about it. Aliens always had a base wherever there's a real army base. Whenever there's a war, I guarantee they're over it. They could take as many people alive or dead as they want, and nobody knows. People in Vietnam talk about UFOs and everything else now. So it wasn't a new thing. It's not a new thing. But when people are a little more open to talk about what they experienced or saw, it's a little different. One of the most incredible cases, I think, that was a good one, when a ship landed in a school. All the kids went running out, and the aliens came out, and then they got back in the ship and left. But all these children got to see it. They weren't hurt or nothing, at least that I know. Who knows now? I mean, they did talk to the children years later, and they all talk about the experience, including the teachers. But they have to know something's real. If you're fighting somebody, they always say you need to know your enemy. You got to know how they feel and think, and it helps a real lot. Well, aliens aren't thinking positive in any good way. And when it comes to war, they could take as many souls and people as they want. Well, let's skip aliens. They're not going to help us. Religion and the word spirituality. Are they different? Not really. Spiritualists say religion's a controlled environment where spiritualists think they're free and everything else, because they deal with the universe. It's open and wide and vast. But did they learn anything? No, they don't. Oh, the light. The light's not the answer to everything. It's only a very first step to take. Religion is programs that are being abused by mankind. I mean, go back to Jesus. I don't want to go back into religious stories, but they were all created by man, twisting what was reality. Like I said, Moses had the Ten Commandments and he didn't like it, so he made more. I mean, priests got married in the old days, and they wouldn't ever get married now. Women are allowed to. And I just had a big discussion with a friend. I said, well, there's Catholic women becoming priests now. Oh, no, there's not. Yes, there are. Are they allowed to get married? Yes, they are. All right. There's so many things happening, people, among all the lies that you believe and you're programmed to believe. People are depressed now more than ever. Drinking, drugs, and all that's going up higher. And when money becomes scarce, Hawaii is super expensive. It's probably the most expensive place to live right now. I mean, I can't move. I can't. I have so many things. I'm stuck here for a lot of reasons. I'll leave this world soon, so that's all I care about. But people, while you're here, while you think it's so incredible, think about what would make it better. With all this stuff going on, what do you think would make it better? Tommy or Hawksblood's fine, either one. Our time is kind of going to be limited to what we can do. Something I don't even want to bring up, but I'm going to just tell you that it's there, and you need to look it up and find out what it really means. Religion and spirituality is the God they pray to. It's really scary. God, this loving being that sits in a chair and loves us and sends compassion and protects us from what? People don't even know that. What are they protected from? Are they going to die? Are they going to die in a plane crash, car crash, sickness? They're going to die. Your children are going to die. Everybody's going to die. What kind of protection do you want? Not to get sick? Live? Well, then you're going along Gates and Musk's idea. Let's live forever and let's not get sick. But you're living in hell. I love to debate any topic on spiritualism, God, religion, aliens, demons, magic. All right. The topics that I experienced all my life. Bigfoot, I was next to one. Next to an alien. I was next to a ship. So yeah, that I'll debate because I know it's real. And I know it's not some story or some stupid scientist. Oh, that's just a reflection off of the window. Oh, that's somebody shining a light with an alien on it. It's a hologram. Oh, they'll come up with some stupid idea. Pull up John Ford. He's in a nut house on Long Island. He shot a video of a ship that crashed on Long Island. And they're real. It was real. I saw the video before it was shipped out around the world. But he's in a nut house, and they won't let him out. I don't think aliens are real. I know they're real. Big difference. I can't debate a truth. The truth is the truth. Just because you didn't experience one doesn't mean you know anything about an alien. I have. I mean, the same as spirits and ghosts. I was doing that when I was 16. I knew it was all real. I was playing with poltergeists when I was 6 years old. So now that these ghost shows that are on and talking to aliens and filming these creatures coming out of the woodwork and stuff, it's crazy. But that's because of what Tesla created in this reality, and we're using it. And what happened because of that? I wouldn't say that, but there was a Bigfoot in New Jersey. I'll tell you that for real. And there's also one in Washington State that I know for real. So, but outside of Area 51, no, I wouldn't say they're there. I'm not saying the government could have taken one in and did everything on it, but they're not beneficial. They're not here to save the human race, which some people believe and say they're working with. I had a friend that said he worked with Bigfoot for 40 years. Brought him on my show, had a big debate with him, and never talked to him again. He was afraid to talk to me. He goes, I got 200 witnesses. I said, well, prove it to me. Show me one picture that you have of a Bigfoot you're standing with. No, I don't have children, and that's a sad thing. I don't have children. I wanted a child when I was younger. I don't want to get into that story. Read my book if you want, but I had 2 wives that had an abortion themselves and got rid of the child. And it kind of separated me from my partner, my wife, whatever. I actually met my child before it was being born. And then my girlfriend at the time. We're going to get married. Took a pill to kill it. So yeah, I've been through that as well. Human race don't really think too hard or care about things in the right way ever. Uh, would I bring a child into this world now? No, there's no reason to. These souls that are here need to get out of here. It's overpopulated, and if we stay in this place, in 5 years, by 2030, we'll be at 10 billion people. But no, that's why UN Agenda 21-30 is in effect right now, people. We're at stage 4. Don't believe me? Check it out. Pull it up. Look at what the effects, what each one means, the steps and levels. UN Agenda 21-30, meaning 21st year to the 30th year. So by 2030, they expect one world order with a lot less people and artificial intelligence running most of everything. That's what's going to happen, people, and nobody cares and nobody's stopping it. Aliens can't see spiritual stuff, so they can't see through you. If you're a spiritual being, I cannot be abducted. And I could go into my stories, but I'm not going to do it here. But people that are unaware can be seen through. But here's something they can do. When I go to film a UFO, the second they see me filming it, they right before I go to turn the camera on, they disappear. And that happens, I'd say, 4 out of 10 times. I'll see a ship, I'll go to film it, and then all of a sudden it just blinks out, just like that. So yeah, they know, they can sense us. And that's how they talk to us as well, if you want to talk to them. But I made them a deal. I said, you offer me something, I'll give you something. They're afraid to take up that deal, but that's besides the point. Because they'll have to face me as well. So people, I hope you got something out of today. That'll make you think at least. I don't care if you believe anything I said. You don't have to. But look at the world around you. Look at what's happening. We have people running for president that should be about us, not about them. We have Congress that don't care. They're old. I don't know what kind of word to use, but they're ancient. They don't know nothing about a HARP system, chemtrails, what fracking really means. They don't even have a clue. So, and they're going to decide our future about weather control, which they don't even believe in. All these little things that they have no awareness about. They're old people. They don't know. What they believed in then is nowhere close to what's happening now. And realize the government is 50 years ahead of what they release to us publicly. Pull up, if you can find much about it, 2 ships that the government had over 25 years ago. The Delphi and the Aurora. Both are capable of going to Mars. So check it out. You hear them talking about it much? Do you hear them saying anything about it? Oh, yeah, that's a story and that's this. I got people in really high places, or had, until they were killed, died, whatever. I can't even say certain things about people I know. Because I have 16 people that were friends of mine that were dead, missing, or gone. However you want to word it. So yeah, why am I still here? I don't harp on the government. They're doing what they need to do for the rich people. If you got paid tons of money to take care of a rich person or a poor person, who do you want to take care of? The person with the money that's going to be paying you. No, Biden's not a lizard person, people. He's just an old person like everybody else. Trump's more evil than Biden is, and oh no, they're both become programmed fools for the government. They can't do anything by themselves. If a person like Biden says, well, I want to change everybody make $20 an hour and make it across the country, he can't do that. He can't do anything without Congress. Congress are the ones that are ignorant and control whatever happens. And then they force him to do what they decide. It's not like we have a real system that's beneficial to the human race. Last thing I'll say, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence are not beneficial to the human race. Constitution was created by rich people. Remember that. It wasn't created by poor people, middle-class people. It made them unable to even vote. It's evil. It wasn't created. When they stole part of it, which was stolen from the native people, the symbols of the eagle, the talons holding the arrows, all that symbols to the native people, the United States put it on the Constitution. Freedom, no, an eagle doesn't represent freedom. I mean, oh, what's the eagle holding arrows in its paws, talons for? See, the truth's there. The whole Constitution, well, much of it was created about what the native people weren't allowed to be part of. Native people weren't allowed to be part of the human race in the United States. They were classified as government property. I'm going to get into it. It's pathetic. It's sick. And nobody's better in government than not people for the people. Well, like somebody Stephen Greer, well, the aliens care about us and they're going to help us. We don't need a government. No, they're going to just help us become more slaves and food for them. People, there's nobody out there. That's why you got to go inside yourself to find God. Seriously. Or at least the realms that God created for us to move into. Not to stay in hell. Remember that. This is hell. You're living in it, people. You need to get out of it. At least know where you go when you die. Know what happens when you die. It makes life that much easier to live, no matter how bad it is. People, with that, I'm going to say happy day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. Friend me on YouTube if you can, because then you can get my links whenever I do a show. If you want to Skype me, it's Hawksblood11. I don't mind talking. I'd rather talk than write. Email me at somebody's. Let me just see what came through on Skype. Thank you, Sash. It's always a pleasure. Time's running out every which way. I didn't want to live past 50. When I was 15, I didn't want to live past 35. When you hit those ages. But the other thing is, time flies faster. And it's true. I mean, I close my eyes. Oh, it's Friday again. Close my eyes. Oh, it's Friday again. Close my eyes. It's Friday again. It's like the weeks go so much faster. Not that things are happening more fun, better, any words you want to use in between it. It's not. You get old, you get old. So these people in Congress and these people in presidencies, 70 years old is old, people. And how many of them know what's really happening? Do they know anything about space? What aliens can do or are doing? No. Do they know anything about what Musk and Trump and not Trump, Gates and what they're doing to our food? They don't even have a clue. You think Biden would say, well, oh, I don't mind drinking roach milk. Oh, I'll go for a cricket burger. I mean, when they started using kangaroo meat and things like that years ago, and then other countries allowed ostriches to be made into hamburgers now. So, we're moving more in a pathetic way because now the humans are cloning animals and humans. The same as they did with trees a long time ago and plants. But now they were using animals and insects in the United States. They created silk that's super strong. They created a lot of little things. But now humans and animals, what do you think they're going to create? Nothing good. I'm going to tell you, they're going to try the hardest to create a human with wings. I think that's the bottom line. Everybody wants to fly somewhere in their lifetime. Not with a plane or a ship, but with their wings. I mean, you might dream about it and all those other things, but to actually fly with your own wings, it's another thing that man will play with and try to create. But outside of that, to live forever, to be super strong, super this, the stronger you make yourself, the stronger you make your enemy. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. Hope you get it. Hope you got something out of today. I don't know how many years I'm going to be here. Hopefully not too many years. But the truth's out there. And you need to work and find it. And work in it. And become part of it. Don't listen to the lies. I mean, even Tina, that I do my show with, she's with all these UFO people now. And she's becoming friends with them. But they don't have nothing important to say. We do our show, and we actually show she's radioactive. We take out a Geiger counter and everything. We're doing something that's impossible. Tune into my show Tuesday. It's usually 12 p.m. California time. on YouTube. Check it out. All right. Again, enjoy your night, enjoy your day. It's always a pleasure. I give my life to doing this. I could be going swimming, I could be going fishing, I could be doing a lot of things here in Hawaii, and I do nothing except write letters all day. Right? I'm trying to finish my 5th book. I'm trying to do things that I feel are important before I leave. I live with a Tibetan mama who's got disabilities and everything, but and that's even hard because Buddha didn't believe in God. So yeah, it's a hard world, people. It doesn't get easier. And you walk a spiritual path, it only gets harder. All right, people. Peace, love, whatever you need in your life. Uh, don't stop ever